All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is Emmett McCord, and you're watching the From the Top show with Emmett McCord, coming to you from Atlanta, actually Rex, Georgia, right south of Atlanta. I'm an Atlanta native boy, so it doesn't matter. We're all the ATL. Hope you're doing fine on this great July the 18th Saturday morning. It's great down here. And we're excited about our show today. From the Top show with Emmett McCord, we have a great guest, Kevin Richardson, who's going to be talking to us about project management. During this season of the pandemic, a lot of us, most of us, should be at home, and we have plenty of time to meet and talk with our family and play with our dog and plant flowers and gardens and cut the grass and watch all the other things that's going on in the neighbor's yard and the neighbor's house, who's coming and who's going. We got plenty of time. And of course, during that time, we want to meditate as well. We want to begin to learn things that we don't usually have time to take advantage of, to learn and to get caught up on our skill levels. And so I invited Kevin because Kevin is a professional, 12 years of working in this project management field and learning and developing himself. He's an Atlanta boy, and we're proud of that. He went to University of Dayton, and I know Ohio is saying whoop whoop for University of Dayton. He graduated from University of Dayton. Then he came back and got his master's at Georgia Tech. And of course, that's a major hit on his resume to be an Atlanta boy and be a graduate of Georgia Tech as well. So we're really proud of him. Want to hear from him today. I want to make sure that for those of you all who are out there who want to begin a new career in project management, in real estate, or management of property, or those who are already in the field and need to have someone to kind of go back and forth with and talk about some projects. I think Kevin is the person that you should know. So we're going to hear from him in just a moment. So if you just hold on, we'll be right back. I want to give you a couple of housekeeping uh, uh, things too. If you want to make a comment or ask a question, just go to the chat box right on the screen there. I don't know if you're watching from YouTube or watching from Facebook. The show is live right now on Facebook and also on YouTube, but you can put your question right there on the screen and we'll try to answer your question. Also, if you have a question that you want to ask me, you can just give me a call and I'll put the number on the screen so you'll be able to see it. So, at any rate, let's get started on our show. And want to let you know that we are being sponsored today by ELM Marketing. ELM Marketing is a company that is involved in putting together social media for your company or organization or just for you in video. So we're excited about that. Go to the website and see what's going on there at elmmarketing.net. That's a great social branding if you want to begin to put your name out there. All righty. So let's go ahead and start our show. We're going to bring Kevin Richardson in right now. There he is. Kevin, how are you today?
Doing great. It's a
Yeah.
wonderful Saturday.
Oh, fantastic. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Wonderful Saturday. And you and the family are doing well, I hope.
Oh yeah, yeah. Everyone's well. Uh, it's been an interesting time, but
Mhm.
it's everything is going, and we're making the best of the situation.
All right. All right. Well, listen, we're excited about hearing from you about project management and want to start with just you telling us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it really started off, just really as a young kid. I've always been the type to want to figure out how stuff works, and I had an uncle who used to take me to the airport back when you could go to the airport without having a ticket. And so, from there, he would expose me to leadership roles and uh, running organizations, and really from there, I really got into construction.
Mhm.
And so through construction and engineering, it just seemed fun. It just seemed like something that I would enjoy doing. And from there, I found a niche in healthcare construction management, and here we are today.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. So you attended the University of Dayton,
Yep, yep.
okay? And what kind of exposure did you have there? Did you get involved in any of the local firms there, or did you get involved in any of the projects or activities in Dayton in this field?
Yeah, yeah. So having a background in mechanical engineering, University of Dayton has one of the best research institutes. They partner with Wright Patterson Air Force Base.
Mhm.
So I worked with the University of Dayton Research Institute doing material testings and lab analysis, and from there I realized, okay, this is exciting, this is fun, but I need to be out. Uh, working working in a design background is not really the way I want to go with mechanical engineering. And
Mhm.
so I actually took a class my senior year, and it was actually taught by one of the great project managers out there. He travels all across the world, and so from there, it really kind of exposed me. Wow, this is a career path. This is an option. This is something that I could actually do. And from there, it led to my first opportunity with Turner Construction.
Okay. Okay. Great. 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 So you're with Turner Construction, and what do you do with Turner Construction?
So Turner Construction was my first opportunity working in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Mhm.
I
Okay.
worked on the new airport project. Well, I guess it's not new now, but it was new then in 2008. It was they basically, we built an entire new terminal building and the support and landside items that go with it, rental car lots, parking, um, fuel farms. So it was really I believe it was 1.2 billion.
Mhm.
But it was an exciting opportunity. I mean, it was great. I mean, I have a passion for aviation as well, so it really got me going.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. So that was in Indiana, and so from Turner Construction Company, where did you go?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
from Turner, uh, that was right during the 2008 recession. Things got pretty squirrely there. But
Yeah, I remember that.
working for after Turner, I worked for a mechanical contractor, and for them, I did mechanical estimating. So I'm doing takeoffs, and I'm counting pipe valves and fittings, and putting together estimates and bids for projects from the commercial side on office, all the way up to again healthcare and industrial as well.
Okay, all right. Well, I know that your background is probably pretty extensive. So from there, I know I met you. You were at let's see, Collier International.
Mhm.
Okay, and what do you do with Collier International? And
So
who is Collier International?
yeah, yeah. So here at Colliers, we're a worldwide real estate um, real estate firm, full service. We service clients in pretty much every country throughout the world. And at Colliers, I serve as a senior project manager. I manage our healthcare, our office, and industrial projects. And I'm grateful to work with a tremendous team that rolls up their sleeve every day and really helps to deliver complex projects and ultimately um, keep our clients and projects on time and within budget.
Okay. All right. All right. So we're going to bring this down from the 30,000 foot level to maybe the 5,000 to 10,000 foot level for those who are interested in getting into the project management field. Um, First of all, what is project management?
Mhm. So project management is, I mean, this is the, you know, the cool thing I like about that question is because if you line up 50 project managers, I guarantee you'll get 50 different answers.
Wow.
But but what you will see is a similarity between those, and ultimately that's delivering. Uh, uh, you're the orchestra of a project. You're the conductor of that orchestra, and
Okay.
you are delivering a project. You're um, that main stakeholder. You're making sure that everyone's communicating. That ultimately, what someone says that they're going to do, that they're delivering in that, and they're getting the resources that they need to be successful. Um, you can't do it by yourself, but your job is to make the team members around you better and keep them on track and aligned for the entire project.
Okay. Okay. All right. So on the 5,000 foot level again, we're looking at a season of pandemic years. Looks like it's going to be 2021, maybe 2022. We can stop wearing masks, hopefully. But we're in this for the long haul, I think. And so I think that there are people who are watching right now who are interested in understanding how they can create, uh, get involved in new careers while they have this chance to look back and reflect. For those who have that opportunity, and so what kind of education, what kind of experience, what are the foundational blocks for people to be able to get to the level of where you are, and what kind of experiences should they expect?
Well,
If that makes any sense, is
yeah,
that
yeah. I think it does, and that's a good question. I get that question quite a bit actually, and I think it really kind of really depends on what specific industry you're going to go with. For example, in the IT world, the PMP is a very sought after certification,
now
and
PNP? Tell us about that. That's a new acronym.
sure, project management professional is
Okay.
through the Project Management Institute. They're a non-for-profit organization, and again, like for from the IT standpoint, they're pretty popular, pretty popular. Now, with that being said, there's other avenues. For example, in my case, I started off in engineering,
Okay.
and I just chipped away at it from started managing really small projects. Maybe a project that was $5,000, $10,000. Not very big. Almost essentially initiatives, right? And so from there, you gain the trust of those you work with, and you start getting more and more responsibilities, and you start having those opportunities to work on larger projects.
Hmm.
I
Okay.
think one of the key for me was really having strong mentorship.
Hmm.
And I've been blessed to work with so many great project managers out there with 20, 30 years of experience. And I've always made sure that I did more listening than talking. And for
Okay.
people that know me, they're probably sitting there laughing right now, but that's you this is a humbling industry. And so kind of getting back to the root of your question, you've got to start small, start working on those small projects,
Hmm.
and continue to grow, and find a mentor in the industry that can help teach you, that you can learn from. And with those two things working together, you just continue to chip at it, just like anything.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's fair. So what kind of personality do you have to have? I mean, or what kind of personality won't work in project management?
That's probably, there's every project manager has their own style, their own, um, the way they lead projects. Just how, using sports as an analogy.
Mhm.
I mean, you've got 32 different football teams, 32 different quarterbacks, and each one of them leads their team in their own way. And but I can tell you, somebody that doesn't have that team mentality
Mhm.
is not the way you can run a project. You're not going to gain the respect of those that you're working with. They're not going to listen to you. They're not going to follow. They're not going to follow. And most importantly, I mean, you can easily get. I mean, I've seen situations where folks have set someone up for failure, essentially.
Is that
Uh,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
So like an example of that.
Hey, can I show you something so cool? Daddy, look,
Oh.
a balloon.
My son Carson.
A balloon. And look.
I'll tell you what, we'll take a commercial break just for about a minute and let you get that under control,
I
okay?
need to show
All right,
you
thank you.
something so cool.
All righty, we're back. Thank you for watching. I know that many of you who are watching right now got some basic information from Kevin, and we have Kevin Richardson as our guest, and we're talking about project management. And what I've gotten out of this first segment is that there's a great need for connecting to the right people. Uh, there's a need to have a good basic fundamental education that will put you in touch with those who are actually doing what you're doing and what you want to do in the project management field. And what I want to talk to Kevin about on this second half as we come together is what are some of the things that he is hoping to do in the future with his experiences that he's had as a young man. And I'm sure that he has some vision for where he wants to go in the future. So, again, if you are interested in looking into this management field, I think Richardson is someone you need to connect with. And if you need information to contact him, just put your question on the chat screen there, and we'll get your question answered. Or if you need his contact information, just request that, and I'll get that to you. Alrighty, we're gonna bring Kevin Richardson back in, and all right, let's see what we got here. Hey, Kevin,
How's it going?
it's going great. It's going great. So you got stormed.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, you gotta, they just like all of us here. We're, pushing through the pandemic. Our youth, our kids. I mean, they're doing the same thing, and
Yeah,
this isn't easy for everyone. But together we're gonna get through it.
that's right. Absolutely, absolutely. I understand. That was a great intermission right there for the kids to see Dad on live video, and they were part of it now. So
Oh yeah,
forever and a
the
day,
credits
forever. So listen, I wanted to continue our conversation and kind of talk about, at this almost halfway point, what your vision is for the future in your own world. What do you see now that you have these 12 years of strong experience and great education and great connections?
So I've got to continue learning, and I've got to get better. Every day, um, I need to learn a new skill. I need to, find ways to communicate with folks that have communication styles that are completely different from mine.
Mhm.
I've got to become a better listener, and I've got to find ways to continue to motivate, different team members out there, and when the opportunity comes, teach others,
Yeah,
um, keep them from, tripping over some of the same rocks or twigs that I've tripped over,
right,
and
right.
uh, together that helps promotes the entire industry of project management, and it helps everyone. If a client has a bad experience with a project manager, then that really doesn't that hurts everyone, because then
Mm,
they have a sour taste in their mouth about project management. You know, man, I've tried that route before. It doesn't work, or
yeah.
that's not what we want.
Right. So yeah, you've got to be on your best performance every time. There's no room for creating a adversary relationship with the client.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
So that hurts the company.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I understand that. We've got someone on the chat screen here, Janelli Richardson. Do you know this lady?
I do.
Yeah. All
Hey,
right. She's been on there twice now. So this time she's got some. I don't know. She's laughing. I think. What is that? Who is this lady right here?
that's my wonderful cousin. Uh,
Oh, okay. Excuse me. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
uh, yeah, that's my wonderful cousin, and how you doing?
Well, good. Now, how do you pronounce her first name?
Jelani.
Jelani. Okay, I like that. I like that. Jelani, thank you for uh, being with us this morning, this afternoon. We hope you're enjoying the show. And you said that's your cousin?
That is.
All right. Well, fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. All righty. Well, continue watching From the Top Show with Emmett McCord. We're on every Saturday. All righty. Well, so when we look at, let's say, community development, or trying to do something in the community, because you can be very successful, uh, but I don't think you could be very successful when you're not serving others. And I think it has to be uh, part of your life plan to serve and just not get. And so how do you see that as a part of your future or your present or your vision? Do you see that at all?
Oh, for sure, for
Hmm.
sure. Two organizations that I'm really involved in. There's the first one is Gresham Park Baseball Association. So there I coach Little League Baseball. I
Uh,
coach the 6 and 7 year old Braves that my son, who you just saw, come through. He's on that team, and I really enjoy doing that, because I continue to use sports as an analogy, but it's had a really big impact on my life, and you realize some of the small impacts that you have on others. We've there's been, I want to keep this story somewhat generic, but for obvious privacy reasons. But there's been kids that have had some learning challenges that have been
mhm.
on our teams, and we've had their parents come to us and say, thank you, because of what you guys are doing for our youth, for our boys out there. They've been able to do better in school. They've been able to uh, communicate better with their classmates, and some of their behavior has turned around for the positive.
Mhm.
And oftentimes, a lot of those kids, they don't have strong male role models in their family, and so you don't even really realize it, but the impact that you have on them. And so, for me, that's just that's something that I've always been fortunate enough to have, and I take it for granted. But it's again a constant reminder, and it's humbling that everybody doesn't have that. And so
Yeah.
to have the opportunity to be trusted by another parent to be that example in their life is
That's huge.
yeah, it's huge.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you have anybody that you were in that position with when you were growing up that had that position with you?
Oh, I mean, my I've had a I don't want to start saying names because I don't want to
Sure.
leave anyone specifically out, but obviously my father, my uncles, they've all served as huge role models, and also um, my cousins. I've got I've got a great support group, and
Good.
that phrase, "It takes a village."
That's
Um,
right.
I, I've had a village, and that village continues even to this day to support me, to give me guidance, to tell me the difficult things that I don't want to hear, that I
Mm,
need to hear, and to keep me aligned.
that's great. That's great. So what I'm hearing is that you have to be humble.
Mhm.
You have to be a good listener. You have to have served and been humbled by serving others, just to be in a position of trust. That's a great responsibility. So, being a project manager is more than just a title. And I hope that comes through to our viewers because, when you want to become the leader as you are over a project, millions of dollars, that's a great responsibility. But it doesn't come unless people trust you,
Mhm.
unless you're willing to listen to others, because you've got to make sure that the whole process comes together. Am I right?
You're 100% correct.
And it falls back on you and your team to make sure that it starts right and it finishes right.
The physical task at hand. So let's say you're doing a ground up office building, 20, 30,000 square feet. Nothing crazy big, just
Mhm.
straightforward project. And I always joke. I always say, construction is the easy part. you know, uh, the challenge again is just you've got different personalities on the team.
Mhm.
Each one of those folks, they've got their own kind of unique challenge or scope of work that they're dealing with, and they're focused on their priority. And so you've got to be able to listen and understand, okay, what are they trying to do, what is their task at hand, what are their challenges, how can I support them and make them more efficient at their job.
Right, right. Yeah, that's great. That's great. So here's a young man who is about 13, 14 years old, hypothetical. Okay. And he's listening to the show now next month, and he sees Kevin Richardson, and he sees this black young man, handsome young man, black guy with kids and a nice home. Um, and that's who he wants to be. And so, what would you say to that young man?
Learn as much as you can, get the education, uh, learn to not run away from challenges.
Mm,
Life is hard, and learning new things is hard. You're going to fall, and when you fall, just get back up, just try again. You
mm,
can't quit. But you got to get that education, and that education is going to help you develop a specialization and shoot for the stars.
yeah, yeah. So you're going to have problems, but you got to get back up.
Yep.
And so, what about that cheering squad, that
Yeah.
community?
Oh yeah, and you gotta have that. I mean, that's a given. Your support group. You gotta have a positive support group. If they're not positive, hey, kick them to the curb. I know
Yeah.
that sounds harsh, but you got to surround yourself with positive energy, people that have similar faith and beliefs as you,
Mhm.
but most importantly, similar ethics.
Okay.
It- it-
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
well, this industry that we're in is very small knit, and so it doesn't take much for a reputation to get tarnished. And the quickest way to tarnish that reputation is not being truthful,
Mm,
trying to cover up mistakes, not being honest. Again, I keep mentioning challenges and mistakes, and I'm very purposeful about doing that because everyone, if projects were easy, then you wouldn't need a project manager. You wouldn't need experts. The project would just happen organically. You'd sign a contract with a general contractor or CM, or CM stands for construction manager,
okay.
and there the job would just build itself. But the
But it
reality,
doesn't happen that way.
yeah, that doesn't happen that way.
Hmm.
And so when these things come up, and they will, you've got to own them. You've got to admit, okay, look, here's the challenge that we're facing. Here's the impact, but also, here's a solution. Here's how we're going to get there, right? And so, if you try to cover it up and try to act like, oh, it didn't happen, or oh, it's not that big of a deal, they got it covered, and you're trying to squirrel away something in the background, people are smart. People are going to
Right.
see straight through that.
Yeah. 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 That's huge. Integrity is what we're talking about. You've got to be a person of integrity, um, and you can't run away from problems. Even if you have a problem, you got to admit you got a problem. It sounds like that's what you're saying, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's huge, because that says that a young person or whoever's listening now, you have to have good character. You have to be a person of character to be a project manager. You can't be someone who's shiny or avoiding problems. So you got to be someone who's straightforward.
And I guess the last thing that I would mention to that 13, 14-year-old boy or girl is, I let them know that they need to find a mentor, uh,
Mm,
either, and there's multiple mentors. There's professional mentors. There's mentors in your church, mentors, probably in your family. But from a professional standpoint, try to find a mentor in that industry that you're working on.
mhm.
And again, that has all those same values that we just spoke about. And listen, ask
Listen,
them questions, engage in them. Don't just wait for that mentor to call you. You reach out to that mentor.
yeah, yeah, I hear that. I hear that. Yeah, I'm looking to get more calls myself from young men that I know. So that's an inside joke, folks. We don't use phones anymore. There's all cell phones now. It's all just, call Emmett McCord, that kind of thing. No, but it's all good, and we're having fun, and we're talking about your future. I know when I was growing up in Atlanta, the Butler Street Y was my place where I saw, other boys my age who played basketball, pool, the little hockey stick stuff, and I got a chance to mingle with people out of my neighborhood to go to school with me. And so sometimes that worked out and sometimes it didn't. But a lot of those people I can still see around in Atlanta today, and people are doing different things, but it's based on what you learned growing up, the kinds of things that you were attracted to and attracted you. So you've got to be in great company early on to be a successful person. I just found out that it's important to find successful people and be around those people to be successful myself.
Oh yeah.
And yeah. So it's important. I think that's just a way of life. Birds of a feather flock together, right?
That's true.
That's true. And so we have to encourage you, if you're watching, to find the right group of people. Like Kevin said, if they're not positive, kick them to the curb. And he doesn't mean that literally, but he means
Right. Right.
find another person to replace that person. So it's important to your growth. And that's why I had and asked Kevin Richardson to be on the show. He's more than just a senior project manager, property project manager, with great degrees and great experience. Matter of fact, let me ask you about your experience in terms of what's the major projects you've worked on?
So, as mentioned earlier in the show, the new Indianapolis International Airport,
Uh-huh.
worked on that project. I've had an opportunity to also work recently on the new College Park Arena,
Oh yeah.
where the Hawks G League plays. It's a
Yeah.
great facility. If you
Yeah.
haven't had an opportunity to go, obviously prior to the pandemic, but it's a great spot to take a family or even just go watch some games without spending an arm and a leg.
Right.
Um, I've also worked on quite a few healthcare projects throughout down in Warm Springs, Georgia. There's
Mhm.
a pretty cool facility down there, and it's in rural Georgia, and they changed quite a bit of lives there. They're a rehabilitation and a treatment hospital, and it's like in a historical setting. Franklin D. Roosevelt built
Uh-huh.
it,
Hmm.
and we were able to renovate and modernize the hospital, but still keep the historical aspects of it.
Great.
So, I don't want to bore everyone with all the projects, but those are probably three pretty exciting projects that if you ever in the area, please just check them out.
Yeah, that sounds real good. Sounds real good. That's what would you say in terms of dollars? What would we be talking about?
For which
Just aggregate dollars for all those projects that you worked on.
man, a lot. So the College Park. I mean, this is all public record. You can, probably someone coming to probably fact check me on this one. Uh,
Okay, don't worry about it. No
but,
problem. So
it,
100 million, 50
40,
million.
40 well, that one was 40 to 50 mil.
Okay,
Uh, New Indianapolis Airport was 1.2 bill,
okay,
and then the Roosevelt Rehabilitation Hospital, I believe construction was in the neighborhood of 2 to 5. Uh, but I can look all this stuff up.
sure. No. We don't
So
want
one tip that it's very important that you do for all your projects, and this is something I would give some advice I would give someone coming right out
that. Okay,
is you create a project portfolio. And so
okay,
like what I have is an Excel spreadsheet, and in the Excel spreadsheet it's got scope and description of the project. It's got the square footage, the size, and it has the dollar amount for it.
okay.
And then sometimes I like to include little pictures and stuff like that. But that's important because as you try to go and get additional projects, you can reference that log that you have, and as
Mhm.
you reference that log, you've got all the data that you need right there, and you can put in your pitch for the next project.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. So even on the 5,000, 10,000 foot level, because we know Kevin Richardson is at the 30,000 plus level right now, and he's going higher. So we just want to get under his wing right now, listeners and viewers, to kind of catch some of those jewels that have fallen off that he's spreading out right now. Basically he's saying put your portfolio together, even if you're still in college.
Oh yeah.
You can begin to get busy with projects. Am I right?
Oh yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
your portfolio, at least.
A lot of times people they're remember I mentioned earlier initiatives. They have these initiatives that they think, oh, that's not that big of a deal. But when you put it on paper and you look at it, I'm like, that's really something. I was talking to a gentleman that is trying to get into project management, and I kind of gave him that similar advice, and he was like, "Well, man, I hadn't really done any projects." And I said, "Well, didn't you just do a big corporate rollout? You brought 300 people in the office, and you upgraded all their computers, and you reformatted them, and reflashed them. Obviously, I'm not IT guy because I'm
Right.
talking very vague here, but ultimately, that was a project.
Yeah.
He had a budget,
Right.
he had a schedule, and he had multiple stakeholders that he had to assist and lead in order to help upgrade all 300 computers for that particular company.
That's a big project. And I'm familiar with that, having somewhat of a background in IT. Uh, that whole refresh that's a project. I mean, you've got to work with a lot of different people. So we're saying, listener, listen, you can start from where you are. You don't have to be Kevin Richardson to do arenas and things like that. You can start from where you are. So, what kind of projects are you working on right now is important. You need to document them. Your numbers might be low, but the important thing is that you've got a presentation for the next job. And I'm assuming that Kevin, you agree with me. If you don't, just shout it out.
No, I mean that's exactly right. I mean, you've got to, what we do is we effectively we work ourselves out of a job on every single project.
Ah,
And that's, if you talk to contractors, they'll tell you the same thing. You can't just drag something on you. You got a fixed schedule, fixed budget, and you got to
yeah,
deliver. But as you're doing that, you're you're not necessarily marketing and trying to sell, but by doing what you've been contracted to do.
hmm,
I mean, people talk, and referrals are a big thing in this industry. And so, someone will have a challenging project and they'll say, well, hey, here's the person or the team that helped with this project. You know, reach out to them, see if they can provide assistance.
right.
Sometimes it leads to work.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty huge. I keep going back to that 5,000, 10,000 foot level person because we've all been there. You've been there, I've been there. We've had to, gradually grow to where we are now. And it doesn't start with the big jobs, you know, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
you,
yeah, yeah. I mean,
yeah,
no one's just gonna just hand you some 15-20 million dollar project. They're gonna want to see progression. They're going to see growth. And again, even me, like I still have you know tons more to learn. Every day I have to continue getting better. Nobody cares about what you did yesterday. They don't care what you did last month. They don't care how great that project was 2 years ago. They're
yeah,
focused on the project that you're working on now. What have
mhm,
you done for me today?
right. Their project is what they're concerned about.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah,
They
their
don't care.
project.
And they don't care that you're managing, five, six, seven, eight, 10 projects concurrently. I mean, that's great.
Yeah,
But okay, what about my budget?
right, right,
Where we're at now, and
right, right.
so it's you gotta again just continue to learn and listen to that client, find out what's important to them, find out how they communicate, and you got to be able to adapt and
Mhm.
tweak your deliverables so that it works and it works for them.
So, Kevin, what do you see in the future in terms of project management? Do you see growth in the United States, growth in Atlanta, particularly Georgia?
I certainly hope so. Uh, so I see project management becoming more of an integral part. It's kind of interesting. 10 years ago, you would, if you wanted to do a project, most people their first stop would be to call a designer, call an architect, and and I guess historically speaking, architects have led projects from really the beginning of this field. Uh, with things becoming more and more specialized, and you know, there's lots of regulatory challenges that are involved in even a simple project.
So what does the architect do?
Oh, well, the architect is still leading the design. I mean,
Okay,
they're still the master designer.
okay, so they designed the project.
I'm sorry.
They designed the project.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
Okay. But you're saying a lot of times they're also doing the project management.
Well, so historically, project management, as we know it today, is a relatively newer profession.
Ah,
Now, I mean, the I just want to be clear on this because again, I don't want the comments to just jump on me. But
you own your own, buddy. You own your own.
right. So project management, as you can't do a project without having a project management period, right? But as a dedicated profession, hiring someone specifically, their role is to do nothing but manage the project. That is a relatively new industry, um, in the grand scheme of things. And so going back to the architect portion of it, that used to be kind of the first step. But I see the progression of our industry being that when people want to do a project, they're going to bring in the project manager or consult with the project manager from the start,
Mm,
as opposed to, oh man, this project's behind. This project is over budget. How do we fix it? Man, we need a project manager.
ah,
By that time, it's I don't want to say it's too late,
right,
but a lot of these small hiccups could have been avoided by
right.
implementing solid project management principles and strategies from the beginning.
I see your point. I see your point. So the opportunity is there because it's a relatively new uh, field, uh, but the need is growing because of the risk of losing a lot of money or and time with the
Well,
project.
well, risk and just the complexity of projects.
Hmm.
Even like a given healthcare project, you've got various stakeholders within. You've got your hospital, executive board,
Right.
the nurses and directors, the frontline folks. You've got the techs. You've got the environmental services folks that keep the facility clean and help reduce infection. And then um, you've got this local municipality, the city. Sometimes you have counties that you also have to coordinate with for inspections. And,
Hmm.
and then Georgia's the CON state, so you've got the Department of Public Health, and they there's regulations that are always being updated, and so you've got all these individual stakeholders that all have important roles and important um, aspects to help develop and lead this project and help build the project. But so your job is to make sure that they're all communicating, that
Hmm.
they're all working together in a sense where one particular person's goals aren't conflicting with another's,
Hmm.
and so it's all intertwined together, and it can't be all an afterthought. It's got to be planned for in the beginning.
Yeah. Well, that sounds huge. That sounds huge. That's a great responsibility, not only for the project managers, but also for the company, the client, the end user.
Correct.
They're putting a lot of risk and responsibility in the project manager's hands. So I'm sure you work with a team.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
No, no, yeah. This isn't the Kevin show by any means. I mean, this. I want to be clear on that. Like
yeah.
any project that I worked on, um, there's been a team of people, 10 and 20 times smarter than me. I mean,
Mm,
just being honest.
yeah.
And so, my job is to help them be better.
Right.
If they're under the basket, I'm gonna feed them the ball. Take
Okay.
the shot.
Okay.
If they need help, getting a particular end user to sign off on a document, I'll be that bad guy. I'll go knock on, the end user's door. Hey, such and such, we really need you. We need you to sign off on this document. Blah 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 blah. You know, Again, if I need to help them be successful, because if they're successful,
Right.
the project is successful. It's not about me. It's about the project. It's about the end user. It's greater. It's greater than me.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm glad we brought that out because I had the impression that it was all falling on the project manager, and actually, you have a team that you're working with. You're just the tip of the spear.
Oh yeah, yeah. I tell people all the time. The team members, they do all the work. The men and women that are on that construction site, sweating when it's 100 degrees outside and freezing their buns off when it's 20 below.
Hmm.
They're the heroes. I mean, they're the ones that make it happen.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Well, Kevin, listen, we're almost at the 2 o'clock hour. I think we've had a great discussion. We've tried to just squeeze you, and you came out the other side whole, no problem. You answered all of the questions, I think, and I think if nothing else, our audience knows a number of things. One is that you've got to have a good character. You've got to be a person of integrity. You can't be someone who is shy or uh, fearful about failing, and you have to be a good communicator. Um, but I don't want to add all that up for you, but I got some takeaways from your comments and you being on the show as well. But I want to give you in our last 5 minutes or so here to give a couple of minutes closing
Yeah.
and to our viewers and let them know what you're thinking and what you want them to know. So I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right.
All right.
Well, you know, for those that are watching, that are currently in college now, or maybe in high school, elementary school, and they think this is a field that they want to go to, just learn as much as you can. Continue to practice and trying to get better. Work on improving communication, both written communication, but also verbal communication, sometimes even nonverbal communication. Let's focus on written communication first. We're in the text message world, and we're very, focused on just shooting something out and, not proofreading. Proofread your messages, and this is probably more geared probably to folks that are, still entering the workforce. But, proofread those communications, make sure that you're clear and concise on the message that you're delivering. And last but certainly not least is find a mentor and you listen to that mentor, work with that mentor, and continue to learn. And every day get better. I try to get better every single day. And any advice that I've given to you on this message is really just advice that I'm giving myself. I'm talking to myself, and you're essentially hearing my self talk. So with that being said, that's the message that I have. That's the advice that I will leave you with. And um, if you want to get in contact with me, Emmett will be able to help you with that as well.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Kevin, I will definitely get your information out for anyone who wants to reach out to you. Uh, Unless you want me to put that information on the screen, I'll be happy to do that. Go ahead and just let me know what you want me to put.
Sure, you can put my email address. Is Kevin, Kevin
Huh?
dot Richardson, Richardson, at colliers.com.
All right. Let's see. Is
All
that
right.
right?
Collier's has an S.
Collier's has an S. Okay. All right, let's get that right. Okay, let's see. Is that right?
That's it.
Okay. So that's the email to reach out to Kevin Richardson. He's our guest today on From the Top Show with Emmett McCord. Kevin has been great to you. Like I said, you answered every question. You have been a solid guest, and you brought a lot of information to our guest today. And I pray that there's some things that people will take from what you've said today, and they'll change their lives and begin to get on the path for project management. I believe there's a great opportunity out there, and you've proven it. You're a young man. You've got to get a great education, though, and you've got to be ready for the challenge. I'm sure that there are many that you didn't talk about today, but you gave us the overall, and I really appreciate that. And I want to say blessings to you and to your family, to your children, that you all are well during this pandemic season, and that you all enjoy yourself and continue to grow in the Lord. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All righty. Just hang on. We'll get back right to you. Listen, I want you to know that I appreciate you all being here, watching and listening From the Top Show. We do this every weekend from 1 to 2. We have great guests. We talk about a lot of different things. This show is all about bringing empowerment to our listeners and to those who watch the show. Information that you wouldn't normally get. And also information from the decision makers and those people who are actually doing it, and giving you enough opportunity to ask questions where you can't do that on other shows, even the ones on television. You get 30, 40 seconds at that. Here you can get your questions answered and be a part of the discussion. So I think that we've got a couple of more questions here or statements. Listen, my wife is chiming in. She's saying, very good information, great show. All right. And cousin Jelini Lanny, I think she said, great show, guys. Thank you for that as well, Miss Richardson. We appreciate you all being here with us. And we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Again, I want to let you know that From the Top Show is sponsored by ELM Marketing. You can get in touch with ELM Marketing just by going to the website at elmmarketing.net. Go there. And we're just getting started. ELM Marketing is one of my firms. We actually do social media for individuals, organizations, profit and nonprofit, schools, or any other entity. And so support us. Let me know if we can do anything for you. We've got a great price. We'll do my first 9 clients will get a commercial for just $35. Just $35. So hit me up at elmmarketing.net and let me know what I can do for you. Okay? All right. Well, God bless. I thank you for watching. I thank you for being safe. All right. Continue to do that. You didn't have to do it, but you did. God bless you.